Hello, RWorld. Welcome back to another episode of RWorldTalk. I am here with a really great friend of mine, Mr. JD McClintock with eXp Realty, who happens to be the chair of our RPAC committee this year. Welcome.
Thanks, Chris.
How you doing, buddy?
Man, I am super excited about this.
Okay. It's been a while. I thought that we would have had you on the show a heck of a lot earlier, but here you are finally, and super glad that we get a chance to talk to you and dive into the wonderful world of the Realtor Party and RPAC. We obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, because maybe somebody doesn't know this, but I have been heavily involved with the Realtor Party and RPAC. You've been a fantastic mentor to me in that world, making sure that I understand all the things that we do and why we do them. So we're going to dive into that today. So we do share that similar passion when it comes to the Realtor Party and RPAC.
Yeah.
So in your words, why are these two viewed as the same, and where do they split to become different?
Well, to your point, I'm super glad that we're finally at the point. I mean, like everything, it's the right time for the right thing, and that's the way things happen, right? And I think it's more important than ever that there's an understanding of what the Realtor Party is for our membership, for the public, for really everybody to know. There's somebody out there, not somebody, there's a group, the largest group in the United States, supporting them every day, but beyond just the real estate industry and you and me as members, but the communities that we serve in. So to your question, the Realtor Party versus RPAC, or the Realtor Political Action Committee. The Realtor Party is all of us. It's you, it's me, it's our individual member, it's the collective of the association and the realtors together, whether they know they're part of a advocacy organization or not, working towards a common goal of protecting private property rights, home ownership, business. I mean, it even goes to waterways, especially here in Florida, that we advocate for, right? RPAC is more specifically the fundraising dollars and the mechanism or the engine that drives the ability to find things like realtor champions that have great relationships with us so that we can work with them towards good policy for our communities. Does that make sense?
It makes a heck of a lot of sense, and I'm glad that you took that dive into that question like that, because a lot of people don't realize that collectively, as an association, we are an advocacy group. That's the whole reason why we do what we do, is to protect private property rights. And I'm glad that you touched on water as well, because I mean, that is one of the most important things to us here as Floridians, is protecting our waterways. And we have realtor champions in place that constantly fund environmental issues every single year in the legislative budget.
The state of Florida, just a handful of years, the Florida Realtors, not the state of Florida, funded one of the biggest research papers out there for the state of Florida legislation to show them the needs that we had in Florida. And our legislators, we always tell them, you walk into their offices in Tallahassee, as do I, as volunteers, and our lobbyists who are staff members that work on the behalf of every one of our members every day do this all the time. They say, hey, we have these resources. We have the ability to support you in your decision making and help you make better decisions.
Right.
Come talk to us, work with us. And that's a great example of Florida waterways bring people to Florida. And it's one of our biggest economic engines, is people coming and seeing Florida and partaking in, let alone Disney, but our coastlines and everything else, and boating, which you love to do.
Yep.
And so our ability to help facilitate those conversations for our communities with legislators, they come and talk to us first. We can almost spearhead a direction to help them get to the best thing for the communities that we serve.
Yeah, I think every time that I've walked into a legislator's office, whether it be at the local level, the state level, national level, we always end those meetings telling them, use us. We have all of this data and all of these resources that we can provide you in order to help you make those valuable decisions that you're making. Let us give you the information that you need. Come and have a talk with us. The same way that we ask them to help us with things, we're also offering them our help and our guidance so that they can make better decisions. So I love that you touched on that. So you're working on some new member benefits that outline exactly what the Realtor Party does for our RWorld members. Can you give us a glimpse at what members are going to start receiving and why it's important?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, we get a lot of information from the association, classes and everything else, but we've already touched a little bit. Like, advocacy is the core of why the Realtors were created. So what we want to do is communicate that better. So we're starting a newsletter here in the near future. It may already be out by the time this episode airs, where it's going to be a succinct update on a regular basis saying, look, here's the wins locally, here's the wins state. And when we say wins, anything that's better for the community, better for industry, better for business that we've helped facilitate with legislators and conversations that we have. It's going to talk about people who have invested in the Realtor Party and celebrate them for making that commitment. People may not know the dues that you pay are not money that's used in order to facilitate these conversations and get realtor champions into office. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that process more here in a minute. But these are voluntary contributions into the Realtor Party or into our PAC that allow us to build those relationships and get people in. So this newsletter is going to celebrate those people as well. There'll be likely a little video synopsis, because we all know we like the shortened bite-sized information packet of what's in there. So if somebody finds something interesting, they can go down and find more. It's going to be all that information pushed out where people are receiving it, and if it's interesting to them, they can dive deeper into it.
Okay, cool. Let's take a little bit of a break, because you just said pushed out, and I want everybody to know a little bit about JD's background. So tell us about JD, the man, and where'd you come from, and how'd you get to where you are now?
So can I show you some houses, eh? So like you, I have a history with Canada that involves, in my case, my parents are both from Canada. My brother was born there. I am a dual citizen and was actually born in Georgia. Oh, I was a bit of an anchor baby. I was born on the way from my parents, and my grandparents had a house in West Palm Beach, and I was born in Georgia on the way back to Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad was involved in real estate in Canada, got involved down here, and so I'm kind of a legacy of real estate in the family. But yes, Canada is where it all started.
Okay. So 9 months pregnant, your mom decides she's going to go on a road trip.
My dad was a professional water skier, and he was training down here, and there was actually a tournament in Georgia. They made a quick stopover, and I decided to make an appearance.
Okay, there you go. Your dad, you said, was a professional water skier, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, as was I, actually. So I leave that part out of a lot of conversation, but for 5 years, I was actually on the Canadian National Water Ski Team, and
I did
set
not know
some
that.
records and skied all over the world. It was a very cool experience that
awesome.
Kind of feel like training as a professional athlete teaches you how to be a better professional as you move into these industries as well. So it's a good foundation.
Taught you some discipline, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So getting back to our back of the Realtor Party. At the state level, we've been involved with getting programs lifted off the ground, like the Hometown Heroes program, which it falls under the Live Local Act, but also working on the My Safe Florida Home program currently. Can you tell us what that is, for anybody who doesn't know?
Yeah, absolutely. So first thing I'm going to start with is go to floridarealtors.org/advocacy or voterealtorparty.com. 2 great resources to expand on anything that we talk about here today.
Yep.
Sort of the wins list, both locally and the state level, of these programs, and 25 other things that in 2024 already have been successful. But we'll focus on a few things that are super pertinent to our communities, to our realtors, things like that. So Live Local Act in 2023, huge win. We used to go up to Tallahassee and look for Sadowski funds every year, which was money that was used and allocated towards homeownership, down payment assistance, for affordable housing, all of these things. And every year we go up and advocate for this thing. And it was like, there was the potential to be used in other places.
Right.
And what the Live Local Act was, this sort of securing of funds annually for different things that were affordable housing throughout Florida. And last year in March, $711 million were allocated towards that, which is a massive win, no matter how you look at it.
Right.
And then $100 million of that went into the Hometown Heroes, which was directly for helping people with down payment assistance. I mean, those are huge numbers that have helped. We talk about...
And that money went so fast.
So fast. And it was more funds later in the year were reallocated. And then this year, it's actually, I believe it's over $800 million overall that's going to be allocated to this. So huge wins for these programs that people can partake in. Now, the money goes fast, and it shows how much need there is out there.
Right.
And we keep talking, and they keep reallocating, including, you just mentioned the home hardening.
Yep. My Safe Florida Home.
I say Florida Home. Thank you. There was $200 million reallocated again this year, which is awesome. And with that, last year, the program guidelines have changed a little bit, but now actually, in my opinion, it might be better because $10,000, if somebody applies, it's going to start July 1st again. It's going to be income bracketed. And those that need it most for insurance purposes, which is one of the biggest issues we have in Florida, it's not going to be, it used to be a $2 spend to $1 granted allocation. Well, now those that are kind of hit hardest by the ability to protect their home in a hurricane state will be able to use these funds and not have to pay it back. So the program is adjusting as it moves forward, which is super cool. If you look up that program, you get all the guidelines, everything. One of the coolest aspects to me of that program actually is just the hurricane inspection that you can get for free. So anybody can get this hurricane inspection. When you move forward and get any grant money, anything else, one of the biggest things is education, understanding. Like if you know what's wrong with your house, you have the potential to fix it. And most people turn a blind eye because it's easier to do that. But with this programming from Florida, they can know what they need for their house and protect it. And these programs all come out of years and years and years of advocacy, maybe not directly for even these programs, but programs that have led up to better education around insurance and what we need in Florida. And yes, we all want our insurance to go down, but if you can harden your home, you can get discounts.
Right.
On average, I believe it's about $1,000 that it takes down the premium once you've gone through these processes, if you can use them. And there's like 38,000 people that have been able to utilize this program in Florida already. That's pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, totally awesome. And that money can be used for hurricane impact windows, doors, putting on a new roof. Can you use some of that money to put in the hurricane straps for the roof?
I believe that is included, like anything that goes directly to hurricane. And home hardening in general. One of the cool things in the new program this year is condos weren't part of that. Well, now a condo association, there's $30 million that's set aside just for condos to be able to be hardened, whether that's roof or windows or doors in allocations this year. So again, these programs, as advocacy moves forward and as they get used, adjust more appropriately for our communities, which I'm so proud to be a realtor and part of that.
Yeah, that's such a great program. How do RWorld members get involved with programs like that, or to, help us continue our efforts to advocate for our profession?
The easiest thing, and we've talked about some of the names of the programs, if you Google them, they're going to pop right up, right? The My Safe Home Florida is
My
one
Safe
of them.
Florida Home.
Safe Florida Home. That one's always hard to say. But as soon as you throw that in, if you go to FloridaRealtors.org/advocacy, most of these programs are links as it goes through the wins that are down there.
Okay.
But beyond that, as far as realtors and just overall Realtor Party, right? Be educated. Go to these websites we talked about and understand what the wins are and be able to articulate that back into the communities, back to other realtors.
Absolutely.
Be a good professional. Like go to city and municipality meetings and be part of that, right? And
we push that all the time, right from our regional board level to really task all of our new leaders to get involved with the communities that they're living, working, and playing in, and find out who's the ones that are sitting in those seats, what kind of decisions are they making, and we encourage them to report back to us. So that way we know exactly what our realtor champions are doing for us. And I want to say hold them accountable, because we do hold them accountable, but to let them know that you're in the room, make sure that you get to know the people who are actually serving for you.
Being present is accountability to these folks. And I love that our leadership does this, right? And they push it out. But we've got 42,000 plus members in just this association. And realtors tend to be community leaders, right? They're in touch with what's going on. They know everybody. Often they know the mayor and everybody else, right? And knowing the issues that we have and are good for the community and what the realtors are doing and who they've backed, And having these conversations, whether you're in an association leadership position or just a realtor, and I don't mean that as just a realtor, but you're out there just in the community doing what we do every day, is huge if you're armed with the right information to make our communities better. And you are a leader in the community in general if you're a realtor.
Absolutely.
The other thing I was going to say is join committees, right? Get involved in government affairs, get involved with RPAC, and have a seat at the table. Come in and train on how to do our screening process and be involved in selecting our realtor champions. And any one of our membership is welcome to be part of the process. And that's a great part of a member-led, member-driven association.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're very member-centric and want everybody's input. But, we all come from different walks of life. So we need all of those opinions in the room because we need to know how certain things are affecting your business, your customers, the people that you're serving.
Oh, one more. You can always just support the Realtor Party financially. If you're a solicitable class that's able to do it, if you're an ancillary business that's a member of the association, but if you're a realtor, those voluntary dollars go a long way. And I always say when we talk about this, you're a missionary or you support the mission, and that it's not religious. I'm just giving everybody understands that concept. If you just, whether it's your dues billing or some Realtor Party event that you want to go to, that little bit of support goes a long way if you did nothing else.
Absolutely. You guys heard that right here. If you're too busy, to serve, you're too busy to join a committee, just give us your money and we'll take care of the rest. As a realtor yourself and someone who also tries to benefit the community with real life policy-related results for the betterment of our profession. Do you have a story or some sort of an example on how the Realtor Party has directly affected your business? Because I think those stories are really the key to helping people understand why it is that we do what we do and why somebody like you or I are so incredibly passionate about the Realtor Party and our advocacy efforts.
I mean, the easy go-to one is if you worked during the pandemic. If you made $1 during those 2 years, the Realtor Party touched your life.
Absolutely.
And your community's life. And the reason is our relationships in Tallahassee, our relationships directly with the governor is the only reason that was opened up, which then opened up all the ancillary businesses to real estate, which then as 1099 employees opened gateways for those that were in the same classification as that way. So I mean that's the easy one to go to in the last 2 years,
right?
And if you're not willing to sort of stand behind the party just for that reason, then it's surprising to me.
I remember those early days when the moment that we found out, oh shoot, you can't work right now, and it was like, well, how are people supposed to stay in their homes when we're in the middle of a contract? Somebody's got their moving van packed up and they're about to leave this house and go to another house, and now the title company shut down, the lender can't do their thing, us as realtors couldn't do our things, the property management offices couldn't get people moved in. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. And I remember our realtor members and our government affairs directors all calling the county mayors and saying, this is the ordinance that you guys all just put out. And it started, Miami had one, Broward had another, West Palm had another, and they were all mirroring each other. And we're going, wait a minute, this all needs to be changed. You can't do this. People are going to be stuck outside. What are we supposed to do? You want people to shelter in place, but they've got no shelter. That was a crazy time, and it was nuts.
I was going to use the word scary.
Yeah, to be able to call those county mayors, and then those county mayors helping us call the governor, saying, "Wait a minute, we screwed up. We can't do this. We've got to let these people work, and make us essential." Was huge, and it was amazing to me to watch the power of our advocacy efforts because we're friends with all of those people who are sitting in those seats.
Well, I was going to mention this in a second, but we have in Florida what's called a key contact program, right? It's man-to-man play on conversations and the ability to have relationships where we have a respectful relationship with people from local to state, even to national with our what's called FPCs, but let's stay inside Florida right now. Where we have a respected relationship where we pick up the phone, that elected official is going to pick up the phone too and go, "Hey, Chris, this is important, I know, because you're the one calling me. What do I need to hear about or know within the real estate or within the community that maybe I don't have a full scope on to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Yep.
That's huge. Like, and there's not another organization I know of that has that, not just their lobbyists up there talking at people or having coffee with them, individuals like you and me that are member volunteers that have developed this network in order to communicate the things that are important for our communities, for our industry, for home ownership, for private property rights. The one other thing I was going to say is literally everything in a more holistic route touches real estate, right? From bills or laws that affect insurance, estoppel, taxes, housing, impact fees, infrastructure, waterways and cleaning, home hardening, like all of these things cause the cost of home ownership, whether you're renting because it's a pass-through on rent or you own something, to go up or down. So there is nothing as far as things that come into law or policy that doesn't affect our clients, our customers, us individually with a roof over our house.
Right.
So all of it, when you ask that question, comes down to importance of being part of the Realtor Party for me.
I love how you just shot across all of those things, and that's only a fraction.
Small fraction.
It's so crazy.
I mean, we'd be here all day. It's
okay, so I've got one more question for you, but before that, let's hear your elevator pitch. What do you tell somebody who has not invested in their profession? What could you say to somebody to get them on board and get them to give us a try and see, put their money where their mouth is?
I mean, yeah, a lot of times it goes into the business we've been able to do. But to me, there's a roof over everyone's house, every one of your friends, every one of your family members, you yourself. You might have rental property, you may own commercial property, right? Every aspect of what you do. You also pay, we like to call it the insurance of the industry, right?
Right.
Our PAC specifically, the Realtors Political Action Committee or the Realtor Party. You pay insurance on your house. You're hoping nothing ever happens to your house. You pay flood insurance because you and I both live within a reasonable distance of the water.
Right. And I hate paying for flood insurance because I'm one of those people that's like, it's never going to flood here. So,
right.
But you pay for it.
But you got to pay for it.
Yep.
Right. Car insurance, you pay for that, right?
Yep.
E&O insurance with the industry that we work in.
Underinsured or uninsured motorist insurance. Yep.
Right. The building that all of your agents' beautiful
insurance
office, right? Insurance. But you never ever want to use it.
Nope.
Ever. This is money used every day, every hour, every year to protect private property rights, home ownership, our business inside of the industry, businesses that we go and serve and partake in our communities. And every one of those dollars that is voluntarily given by one of our realtors or ancillary partnerships gets used to protect our ability to keep doing it. So it's an insurance that pays for all of those other insurances, all of the other things in our life, our ability to do this career, and every dollar actually pays off all the time. And that works for me. That gets me motivated and goes, I'm gonna give my money this year. And usually through that conversation, I find people go, oh yeah, I would like to pay into an insurance that pays me back on every dollar multiplied.
It's actually doing something every single day that you're reaping,
and it's doing good
rewards for.
Like it's doing real good, right? Because we are bipartisan, we are nonpartisan, we are we like to say purple party in some circles, because we're looking for the good. Everybody's got a roof over their head, so they can understand why the things that we advocate for are good for themselves. It's an ROI for them, whether it's a legislator or a realtor. Oh, by the way, and everybody else we serve, do business with, have family, all the above.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's easy for me to get excited about it because it touches everything I do every day.
Beautiful. Okay, last question I have for you. I'm going to let you get back to work. We ask this question of all of our guests. South Florida obviously has many hidden gems, whether it's a restaurant, beach, hotel, some sort of hotspot that you like, anything worth checking out. So what's your hidden gem to share with our viewers?
So I knew this was kind of coming, right? And I went, oh man, like if I tell one person, I get clients that fly in and I'm like, how do I sell them? Because it's a lifestyle here in Florida, right?
Right.
What is that one thing? And I'm like, so I do what I call like the make them stay tour. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it might be right out of the airport, or it might be like I pick them up the next day and they're a doctor flying down and they might, they're moving to West Palm. And I go, hey, we're going to take a quick tour. I'm going to show you everything. So here's the route.
Okay.
So Okeechobee, go by the Kravis Center. Hey, we got arts. Up through Rosemary Square, show them the outside lifestyle, downtown West Palm Beach. Absolutely beautiful since they've redone it.
Beautiful and tons of fun.
Down Clematis, make that right, head towards the water so that they can watch it come out on the end. And through that, we go, hey, there's Hullabaloo, which is this kitschy little, farm to table type restaurant at one end. The Ben Rooftop, which everybody loves downtown with looking over Palm Beach. And then the fountain area where you're going to find the boat show and Sunfest and all of that, right?
Okay.
Take them over the bridge, give them a little bit of the history on the Flagler Museum, right? Why we're here and how we got here. And then you got to go to the breakers and show them the seaside bar where fish swim underneath all of your drinks.
Love that place.
Right?
Yep.
Totally awesome, right on the beach. And history again. There's so much history here that people love to know about. Then drive them down the ocean to Delray, take them to dinner and say, when are you ready to move? Because that whole seaside town of Delray will get you every time. So you ask for one, but there are so much. And when people see what's here, they love it and they fall in love with this place.
Awesome. Well, there you go. You guys heard it right here on RWorldTalk, and we will see you all next time. Next episode coming up next Friday.